So, Donald Trump, you packed this arena in Pennsylvania. There's a sense in that room that for the first time in a long time, a Republican can win this state.
Well, I think we're going to win it. It's a great state. The miners are out of business. The gas is being regulated to a point where they can't produce. We have so many problems in Pennsylvania. We're going to put the miners back to work. We're going to put the steel workers back to work. We're going to bring jobs back to Pennsylvania.
How hard is it to watch speech after speech? The only thing that's constant is personal hits on you. You watch, you take it in. How hard is that?
Well, they don't all hit me, but some of them do, and they try and hit you as hard as possible, and it's mostly false stuff. But I get it. I mean, it's the way it goes. It's called politics. But look, they're doing their thing. They're trying to win. They're trying to justify 8 years of horror.
So you're not taking it personal?
I guess I take it a little bit personally, but you can't let it get you down. You have to go out.
You went and did a press conference, and one line is getting a lot of press. You said,
Russia, if you're listening, I hope you're able to find the 30,000 emails that are missing.
Clinton campaign says this is a national security issue. Now, the idea that you've had any American calling for a foreign power to commit espionage in the U.S. for the purpose of somehow changing an election, I think that we are now in a national security space. Your reaction?
You have to be kidding. His client, his person, deleted 33,000 emails illegally. You look at that. And when I'm being sarcastic with something, first of all, they don't even know. Of course I'm being sarcastic. But you have 33,000 emails deleted. And the real problem is what was said on those emails from the Democratic National Committee. You take a look at what was said on those emails. It's disgraceful. It's disgraceful. They talk about religion. They talk about race. They talk about all sorts of things, including women. And what they said on those emails is a disgrace.
When you look at Vladimir Putin, you said he's a great leader of his country, but he's also a guy that...
No, I didn't say that. I said he's a better leader than Obama.
But he does get rid of...
I said he's a better leader than Obama, because Obama's not a leader. So he's certainly doing a better job than Obama is, and that's all. Now look, you have to understand, Putin, if we could get along with Russia, I think that would be a good thing, not a bad thing. We don't get along with Russia. We practically don't get along with too many.
But we have a criteria to be friends with somebody. So if they're going to invade the Ukraine, if they're going to buzz our ships that they're doing right now, and
you know why? You know why they do that? Because they have no respect for our leader. That's why they do it.
They have no respect. If they did that with you in office,
they have zero respect for our leader.
If they showed no respect,
I don't think they'd be doing that. I don't think they'd be doing that for 1 minute.
Because?
Because I think they'll respect me.
Because they
don't respect President Obama.
Would you answer with force?
I'm not going to tell you what I do. Why would I tell you a thing like that? Wouldn't that be crazy to tell you what I do? You react at the time. Part of the problem with this country is they go and they say, we're going to do this, we're going to attack here, we're going to send this many men. No. You got to keep it a little bit secret. Got to keep it a little bit secret. You got to have it to yourself a little bit.
Lastly, personal question. How hard was it, if at all, as a parent, to watch your kids?
I was so proud of my kids and my family, the way they got up at that unbelievable moment and made these incredible speeches.
I've loved and respected him.
You are my hero, my mentor, my best friend.
And I love him with all my heart.
You don't get choked up when something like that happens?
Well, I don't know.
You don't want to show your softer side.
But I was so proud of them. I mean, I was watching. I think I was so proud I maybe don't get choked up for that reason. I had a good life, wonderful family, wonderful business, wonderful everything. I didn't need to do this. I'm getting to know the American people. These are amazing people, and they're tired of being pushed around. They're tired of working harder than they did 18 years ago and making less money. It's an incredible, beautiful movement. We're going to make America great again, and we're going to make America safe again.
You know, we expanded on the controversy with the Russian situation. He had no idea it was a big deal because he's gone from Doral, Florida, flew to Scranton, sold the place out, and then he was going to Toledo. When I even asked the Russian question, he was like, why do you ask?
Because he was joking.
He was joking. And that I'm watching every network, and thankfully Brett Baer put it on, is like, listen, we are accused of not having a sense of humor by guys like Jon Stewart and all these people. They'll take a clip from our show and they'll make us seem like morons, when in reality, we're having a good time. And that's what he does on the stump.
Excellent job. Have you noticed, I know you...
True or false, Donald Trump, about how you've run your campaign and some of the most controversial things you've said over the last 12 months. Here's how it went.
Some rapid-fire controversies that keep coming up every time they've done a column or every time someone wants to read. Talk about the last 9 months, just so we can clear the record. Is John McCain a war hero or not?
Yeah, fine.
That reporter that you didn't like what they wrote, they said you mocked his disability.
Yeah, I didn't. I didn't know who the reporter was. He was groveling because he wrote a good story. Excuse me, I'll get it straight. For you, only for you. He wrote a story. It was a great story for what I was saying, because I said dancing on the streets or dancing on the roofs or whatever when the World Trade Center came down.
About 9/11.
Right. This guy worked for Washington Post or one of the newspapers. He wrote a story sort of indicating that I was right. And then all of a sudden, that was many years ago, that was when it came down. Then all of a sudden, he took the story back when people started calling him about it. Well, you wrote the story. Trump was right. Did you write the story? And he was groveling. He didn't know how to answer it. He was trying to say that his story was wrong. I had no idea what he looked like. He said he met me, and I knew. He said he met me in the 1980s. I had no idea. I spend millions of dollars making buildings good for people that are disabled. Okay, millions and millions of dollars. Do you think I'd ever do a thing like that? What I was indicating was a man that was groveling. He was groveling to try and change a story that he had written many years before so that it worked out badly for Trump. So I do that, and they said I was mocking his disability. I had no idea that he was disabled, none. He said I met him before, many, many years ago. I have no idea who he is.
You said all, true or false, all Central Americans or South Americans who come across the border, the spirit of what you're saying, are drug dealers and rapists.
I didn't say all. You know that, Brian. What kind of stuff is that? I said they come across, and you can read it very clearly, and in many cases they are. They're drug dealers. You see
but
all
not
of
in all.
What?
But not in all cases.
Of course not all. Okay. What do you think? Everybody is that way? I didn't say that.
Banning all Muslims, you've clarified.
We're going to territories. We'll see, but we're going to territories. We're talking about territories which will list the territories also, but there are certain territories that are very, very bad, very, very bad, and I don't want them in this country. And we're not going to let people from Syria come into the country, and who knows what's going to happen. When I look at France with the priest, when I look at all of the things that are happening, we're not going to let that happen to this country.
You know what's good about that, Brian, is you took all of the talking points that the Democrats have had, and you had asked him in a row the questions, and he answered them.
Fact or fiction?
Yeah, and Eric, the whole thing is Angela Merkel is now reforming how they allow immigrants to come into the country. Everybody is wondering what is going on, what's happening in France, what happened in Belgium, and what's now happening in Germany. They're saying, well, wait a second. That's what he said a year ago, but he said it like a non-politician.
But look what the left does. That's what they do. They'll take his words and they'll spin it around to create some sort of controversy out of it. He clarified. That was great. He clarified a lot of the things that were controversial over the last year and a couple of months, including yesterday, what they did yesterday when they said, hey, you know what, Russia, if you can find those 33,000 emails, great. Tongue-in-cheek, joking, and they say, oh, he's asking Russia to help dictate our election. That is just insane what they do.
I don't know if you used it on the 5, but actually you couldn't because I hadn't done the interview yet, but use it today because he clarifies that.
Yeah, see, it's the same thing. They'll say something, they'll take it, spin it the way they want to. You talk about no spin zone, that's the full spin zone.
But it's like when Jon Stewart and The Daily Show will take something that we say, we never could, but he had a chance to answer back today.
This is